What if one of the greatest football clubs in history was paying the man who helped decide who refereed their matches? What if this didn't happen once, not twice, but for 17 years? No intercepted phone calls, no envelopes caught on camera, just millions of euros, silent payments, and a question that now hangs over Spanish football. Was the game ever truly fair? This is the Negreira scandal. For nearly 2 decades, FC Barcelona dominated Spanish football. Trophies, records, an era defined by greatness. But behind the goals, behind the trophies, behind the legends, a financial relationship existed that no one outside the club knew about. A relationship with José María Enríquez Negreira, the vice president of Spain's referees committee. José María Enríquez Negreira was not just a former referee. From 1994 to 2018, he served as vice president of the technical committee of referees, known as the CTA. This committee evaluated referees, influenced promotions and demotions, shaped careers, and had indirect influence over who officiated top-level matches. Negreira didn't assign referees directly, but he sat at the very top of the system that judged them. And while holding this role, his private companies were receiving money from FC Barcelona. Over the next 17 years, FC Barcelona paid companies linked to Negreira a total of approximately 7 to 8 million euros. The club later claimed these payments were for technical reports on referees, advice on how referees interpret rules, internal analysis to gain competitive understanding. But here's the problem. No other club in Spain was doing this, and the recipient was not a neutral consultant. He was a senior official inside the refereeing structure itself. For years, the payments continued quietly, across multiple presidencies, across multiple managers, across one of the most successful periods in Barcelona's history. The scandal did not break because of leaked emails. It didn't begin with a whistleblower. It started with a tax inspection. In 2022, Spanish tax authorities flagged Barcelona's payments to Negreira's companies. Why? Because investigators could not find clear evidence that legitimate services were being provided. Invoices were vague, reports were missing, contracts were unclear. By early 2023, Spanish prosecutors launched a full investigation. And suddenly, football realized something terrifying. One of its biggest institutions had been financially tied to one of its most sensitive roles: refereeing oversight. Spanish prosecutors formally accused FC Barcelona of corporate corruption, not sporting corruption, because Spanish law did not cover that during much of the payment period, but corruption between private parties, former club presidents, including Sandro Rosell and José María Bartomeu, were drawn into the case. Negreira himself, along with his son, was also charged. Barcelona responded firmly. They denied bribery, denied influencing referees, denied any wrongdoing. Their defense was simple. We paid for advice, not favors. But one issue refused to disappear. As the case progressed, judges asked a critical question. Where are the contracts? Where were the original documents proving scope of services, duration, deliverables? Barcelona struggled to provide them. The court ordered the club to submit missing contracts for payments totaling millions of euros. The absence of paperwork became one of the most damaging aspects of the case. By 2025, the scandal escalated. Barcelona as an institution was formally charged. President Joan Laporta appeared before the court. So did former managers like Luis Enrique and Ernesto Valverde. They testified that they never asked for referee favors. They never influenced officiating. They believed the reports were legitimate. At the same time, Real Madrid joined the case as a private prosecutor, claiming competitive harm. UEFA also opened its own review, monitoring whether disciplinary action could be taken at European level. The case was no longer domestic. It was global. As of now, no final verdict has been issued. No sporting titles have been stripped. No criminal convictions have been finalized. The investigation is ongoing, with further hearings scheduled into 2026. Barcelona remains innocent under the law, but the shadow remains. Because even without proof of match fixing, one fact is undeniable. A top club paid a top refereeing official for nearly 2 decades. And football will never look at that the same way again.